A dreamy day in Santorini, Greece's most stunning island. Dreamy Santorini, the beginning of the nightmare. The sun emerged from behind the Caldera's edge, setting the Aegean Sea ablaze in molten gold. A gentle morning breeze swirled through the narrow, labyrinthine streets of Oia, where whitewashed buildings clung to the cliffs as if defying gravity. Isabella Sinclair, a seasoned travel journalist, tightened her grip on the worn leather strap of her camera bag. She had come to Santorini to write a piece about its unparalleled beauty, but she had no idea her dream assignment would become a perilous fight for survival. Her first few hours on the island had been deceptively serene. She wandered through charming alleyways, capturing shots of bougainvillea-draped terraces and blue-domed churches. But just as she stopped at a local cafe for a quick espresso, a sudden scream shattered the peaceful morning air. A man burst from the shadows, clutching his abdomen, his white linen shirt rapidly staining crimson. Isabella's heart pounded. She watched in horror as he stumbled toward her, eyes wide with desperation. "Help me," he gasped before collapsing at her feet. The streets, once bustling with tourists, now seemed eerily still. The barista rushed forward, but before he could help, a dark-clad figure emerged from an alleyway, knife gleaming in the morning sun. Instinct kicked in. Isabella grabbed her camera and sprinted into the nearest passageway, adrenaline surging through her veins. What had she just witnessed? And, more importantly, who was after that man? Hunted through the streets. As the sun climbed higher, the oppressive heat bore down on the island. Isabella found herself in the heart of Fira, its cascading steps and vibrant storefronts offering a temporary refuge. She had planned to spend the afternoon interviewing locals, but instead, she was being hunted. The man's dying words echoed in her mind. "Find Demetrios." She had no idea who Demetrios was, but if she wanted answers and to stay alive, she had to find out. She spotted a small taverna tucked into the cliffside and ducked inside, hoping to blend in. A waiter approached, his gaze scanning her cautiously. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered. "They're watching." Before she could ask who they were, a deafening explosion rocked the street outside, sending shards of glass and debris raining down. Chaos erupted. Isabella barely had time to react before strong hands yanked her through a side door. "If you want to live," a voice growled, "you need to trust me." Escape and the deepening mystery. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the island as Isabella found herself in a secluded hideout deep within the cliffs. Her rescuer, a ruggedly handsome Greek man with piercing green eyes, introduced himself as Nikos, a former smuggler who knew Santorini's darkest secrets. "Demetrios is the key," he said grimly. "He's the only one who can prove what's really happening here." Before she could ask what that meant, a sharp knock echoed through the chamber. Nikos motioned for silence, but it was too late. The door splintered open, and men in black stormed in. Isabella dove for cover as gunfire erupted. Nikos fought viciously, taking down two attackers before grabbing Isabella's hand and pulling her through a hidden passage. The tunnel opened onto a sheer cliffside. Below, the sea churned violently. "Jump," he commanded. She hesitated for only a second before launching herself into the abyss. The cold water swallowed her whole, stealing her breath as she plunged into darkness. The final revelation. The night sky was littered with stars as Isabella and Nikos emerged from the water, coughing and gasping. A small fishing boat awaited them, piloted by an old man with a weathered face. "Demetrios is in the ruins," he said cryptically. They sailed through the moonlit waves until they reached a desolate stretch of coastline. The ruins of an ancient settlement loomed before them, half buried in time. Isabella's pulse quickened. She had expected beauty, not a conspiracy. As they crept through the ruins, a shadow moved among the broken columns. A voice, low, urgent, whispered, "You found me?" Demetrios stepped into the light, clutching a worn leather journal. "They think they can bury the truth," he said. "But we won't let them." Before Isabella could respond, gunfire erupted once more. Demetrios shoved the journal into her hands. "Run," he shouted. As she sprinted through the ruins, heart hammering, she knew one thing for certain. This was no longer just a story. This was a battle she had to win.